Hello, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to DSP Reacts and DSP versus the Internet, my weekly clips react show here on the channel, where I watch a wide variety of clips from all over the internet as submitted by my channel members. I'm very excited to see what you guys have in store for me this week. As always, we begin with the Ultra members, who are the biggest contributors to the channel as they have the highest level of membership. Then we're going to go to the submissions tier members, who all go into a randomized playlist and have an equal chance to be watched. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. Episode 83 for September 22nd, 2024. Let's go. Singapore versus American education system comparison. It's only 4 minutes long. Let's see what it is. Here we go.
Education is an essential tool for individual growth and societal development.
Wrong. Education is a scam. It's meant to keep the people down and be bogged down with student loans so they cannot actually get useful job skills. I'm just kidding. I mean, to some extent that's true, but I don't actually believe that there's no good to education. I'm just joking. I was just going to say, is the volume all the way up? No, it is not. Because it sounded like it was low. So there we go. All right, let's see how it sounds now.
It is a significant aspect that determines the future of a nation. In
Little
today's
better.
video, we will be exploring the age-old question of which country has the better education system, Singapore or the United States.
I would almost guarantee you Singapore. The United States education system has systematically broken down over the last 20 years. Like when I was a kid, the education system was much, much better than it is today. Now, the education system is like so bad. These kids are going to school and they come out and they don't even know anything. They don't even know how to read and write half the time. It's like, what is going on? So I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yeah, Singapore is just like 20 times better than the US. Then again, this video is made by Singapore, so it might be a little one-sided, if you know what I'm saying.
We'll be diving deep into their education systems, comparing and contrasting their strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately determining which country comes out on top. So sit back and let's dive into the fascinating world of education. Singapore and the United States have different education systems. Singapore has a centralized education system, while the United States has a decentralized system.
Yep.
Singapore's education system is managed by the Ministry of Education, which sets the curriculum and standards. The United States education system is managed by individual states, which set their own curriculum and standards.
And quite frankly, this is something that a lot of people like in the United States. They're like, oh, from state to state, each state is self-governing and does stuff differently. But this is some of the reason why our country is so disjointed and has feelings of like lack of unity, lack of agreement. Like, for example, when COVID hit, right? Every state handled it completely differently. One state is completely locked down. One state has everything open. One state has mask mandates. One state doesn't give a shit. So because of that, how are you ever going to have any kind of uniformity or a consistent system that works when no one's abiding by the same rules? And that's the thing. You might have one state that has a really good education system and another state where it's complete ass. And there's no one regulating it. They just do whatever they want. So I get the whole idea behind states' rights, but in a lot of ways, I feel like having the non-centralized system for certain things may be a bad thing.
In terms of academic achievement, Singapore ranks higher than the United States. According to the Program for International Student Assessment, PSA, results, Singapore ranks first in math, science, and reading.
Now, wait a minute. Who is that organization? And are they located in Singapore? Because how are they saying that Singapore is the top in like the 3 big things, right?
While the United States ranks 37th, 18th, and 13th, respectively. This difference in academic achievement can be attributed to the different approaches to education in the two countries. Singapore's education system focuses on rote learning, memorization, and a rigorous curriculum.
What is rote learning? R-O-T-E, rote learning? I don't know what that means.
It is a highly structured system that places a lot of emphasis on academic excellence. Students are expected to study hard and excel in their academic performance.
Well, that's the difference between here and there. Half the time, it's like, do students even show up to class in the United States? Like, you're lucky if half the people are there. In Singapore, they're expected to actually treat it like a job, right?
The education system is designed to identify and develop the talents of each student, providing them with the necessary skills and knowledge to succeed in life.
I'm not even kidding you. Here where I live in Washington State, in the Seattle area of the United States, most of our street crime is performed by teenagers who should be in school. This is not a joke. We have actual organized gangs of 13, 14, and 15-year-olds who have guns, and they are actually carjacking people, and they are robbing stores at gunpoint, and they're committing crimes. This is not an exaggeration. Go search right now for news articles of the last year to 2 years here where I live. It's insane. These kids should be in school, and instead they're out there doing street crimes as gang members. That's the education system that we have. They don't even pay attention to it.
In contrast, the United States education system places more emphasis on creativity, critical thinking, and independent learning. The curriculum
Independent learning. So not learning. The whole idea of going to school is that there's group learning. Everyone learns it together at the same, pace, and you have the same independent learning doesn't exist. Right? So what is it? Homeschooling? Well, that means no schooling. It means that the kid's not going to learn anything because the parents don't fucking do shit. If anything, I've learned in the last 20 years, parents here in the United States are incredibly irresponsible. They do not hold up their end of the bargain when it comes to raising kids. They expect society to do it for them. So homeschooled? Yeah, right. That kid ain't fucking learning nothing. That kid's probably running around the house bouncing off the fucking walls.
The curriculum is more flexible, and students have more freedom to choose their courses of study. The education system is designed to develop well-rounded individuals who can think independently and contribute to society.
Do they really think that's what kids do at regular school in the United States? Or is this supposed to be Singapore? Maybe it's supposed to be Singapore.
Another difference between the education systems of the two countries is the level of investment in education. Singapore invests heavily in education, spending approximately 20% of its budget on education.
Wow.
The government provides free education for all Singaporean citizens, from primary school to university.
Completely free school all the way through.
The United States invests less in education, spending about 6% of its budget
on education.
The cost of education in the United States is high, and not everyone can afford to go to college. In terms of teacher quality, both countries have highly qualified teachers. Singapore has a rigorous selection process for its teachers, and only the best candidates are selected to teach. Teachers in Singapore are also well-trained and receive ongoing professional development. In the United States, teachers are required to have a bachelor's degree and a teaching certification. However, the quality of teacher training and ongoing professional development varies depending on the state and school district.
And again, because, there's no uniform qualification. So you could have one state where you send your kid to public school, not private, which is expensive, but public school, and it's good. The teachers are well qualified, they're intelligent, they're smart, they're professional, and your kid learns well. And you could have another state, one state over, and you send your kids to public school, and they just sit around doing activities, watching videos all day, and the teachers don't give a shit and don't do anything or dumb themselves. It's completely different. It's not equivalent. Like, what the hell?
And that's a wrap on our exploration of which country has the better education system, Singapore or the United States. We hope you found this.
That was it. That was so short. I barely said anything. So essentially what they're saying is Singapore spends way more money on it and has higher qualifications for it, right? And everything's free because it's all completely controlled by the government. The government owns the system and controls it all, right? So, I mean, and listen, I want to know who's that ranking authority, the PISA or whatever they were. Like, who are they? And is that true that they are actually ranking Singapore like top in 3 different subjects or not? I'd be interested to figure that out. But okay, but I'm not surprised to hear that the United States sucks. That makes sense to me. Okay, here we go.
Laura Mosley.
I'm Patsy Hughes.
I'm Jan Bradshaw,
And we're all enthused with the Orange Bill back office crew, bringing the Super Broker team to you.
We are the best sales rep crew, doing the Super Broker show for you. We're so bad, we know we're good. Nobody messes with our neighborhood. We didn't come here looking for trouble. We came here with the Super Broker show.
Larry Tanner, I'm here to say, if you listen to me, I'll talk all day. Have a lot of bread rabbit on your cakes. Best thing you'll eat, for goodness sakes.
Why? time I see something like this, I'm like, man, I want to watch like a Run DMC video, right? Like I want to see the actual originators of this do it the way that it's meant to be done, that everyone fucking copied them, right? Like seriously, Run DMC innovated this style of rap, right? And they made it mainstream, and then everyone wanted to copy, and then of course after that, then rap evolved over the 90s to something very different. But I mean, I totally respect Run DMC. I do. For, you know, you watch it and you're like, wow, this is really, you know, really good. And then you see this and it's like, so every moronic corporation decided that because Run DMC did something original that they had to copy it because it was popular, and they have to make an ad out of it and they have to do this shit. It's like, what the fuck? So unoriginal. So this video is from 18 years ago from early YouTube, right? But doesn't really say about where it's from. Like, you know, where did it really originate? Yeah. Parodies of the Super Bowl Shuffle video recorded by the Chicago Bears in 1985. So even this is a parody of a parody. Do you see? It's a parody of a parody. Well, I'll listen to a little more of it, but I'm not going to listen to the whole thing. I'm sorry. That's unbearable crap, but here we
I
go.
didn't come here to pop my bubble. I came here to win the Super Broker Shuffle.
Hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Carson. When it's time to sell, I preach like a parson. Vermont made, sweet as she can be, finest syrup from the maple tree. I didn't come here to stand in a huddle. I came here to win the Super Broker Shuffle.
Call me Niles Lander, say I'm married out of touch. When it comes to selling, call me Mr. Clutch. Grey Poupon is full of spice. Spread it on a sandwich, it tastes so nice. I didn't come here to drop my duffel. I came here to win the Super Broker Shuffle.
Oh my God. These guys are... And this is what they selected for the actual video. They're not even in the rhythm. They're going like, I read it too fast, so I'm like 5 lyrics ahead, and now I'm going to try to rhyme it, but now I'm dead because I fucking suck and I cannot rhyme. I don't know why. I just wasted everyone's time. What the fuck? 4 minutes. Let's fast forward.
Solid as a rock, I protect my turf like a great big jock. You better buy my brand, it's Hawaiian Punch. When it comes to other drinks, I'll eat your lunch. I didn't come here to huffle or buffle. I came here to win the Super Broker Shuffle.
Ronnie Atkins from the Cajun State, giving service with a smile, cause I know my fate. A1 keeps others on the run. It's great to be a member number one. I didn't come here to start no trouble. I came here to win a Super Broker Shuffle.
I'm Laura Mosley.
I'm Patsy Hughes.
I'm Jan Bradshaw. And we're all enthused from Gina wine and planter snacks and Roy desserts to your grocery stacks. We didn't come here asking for trouble. We came here to win the Super Broker Shuffle.
I'm Bob Berman and I'm...
The Super Broker Shuffle. What is a Super Broker? I don't even understand what that is. What's a Super Broker? Man, I really want to listen to some Run DMC right now. I do. Like, this makes me want to listen to Run DMC so bad because they're good. And this is just shit. All right, let's go to the next video. Four minutes.
Achievements are a permanent record of your digital accomplishments. Most of the time, they're...
Oh, God, this is so blurry. This must be ancient because the video is so blurry. It's only... Oh, no. It selected the wrong quality. It's still old, though. It's only 720p. All right.
They're a badge of honor, a public display of your skills and abilities. Sometimes, however, they're a downright embarrassment, and there's no way of removing them, leaving you on the video game equivalent of the sex.
It's all the embarrassing achievements is what it is, right?
Sex offenders register. Here are 8 achievements which you'd be deeply ashamed to have anyone see on our gamer card.
If you wonder, this game just got remastered, and by the way, the remastered version apparently is atrociously bad. Like, everyone says it crashes, it runs like shit, which is hilarious because it's a fucking remaster. But I wonder if this achievement still exists in it, right?
Zombies suck dick at driving.
I swear I did it by mistake as an achievement you get in Lollipop Chainsaw for looking up Juliet Starling's skirt. The fact even the achievement name is ashamed of itself should give you some indication that the permanent shame of having this achievement on your gamer card probably isn't worth the 10G you get for it.
I swear I did it by mistake.
Moves, kill it.
Tiberium exposure detected.
Command & Conquer 3 is set in 2047. How can we work that into an achievement, a game designer once said? I know, how about we make the player press the A button 2,047 times? He continued, apparently unchallenged. Is it worth 20G and the associated repetitive strain injury? No, is the answer.
Oh, this one too. Yep. Azura's Wrath.
View of the Valley is an achievement you can get in Asura's Wrath for staring at a girl's chest.
How embarrassing.
Hey, Asura's Wrath, I appreciate the euphemistic title. Here are a few more in case you get stuck for the sequel.
Well, there was no sequel. 0G, 20 straight losses. 20 straight losses, 0 gamer points. Wow.
This achievement for losing 20 consecutive online matches in Dead or Alive
Yikes.
4 is an embarrassment double whammy. Not only does it not have a euphemistic title, meaning that anyone looking at your gamer card will know exactly how badly you suck at Dead or Alive 4, but it's also worth 0G, meaning you don't even get any gamer score for your humiliation.
Oh, this was, oh yeah. So Dead or Alive 4 was one of the early fighting games for Xbox 360. So most people owned it because there was no Street Fighter, there was no Tekken, there was no Mortal Kombat. That was the first fighting game, and everyone wanted a fighting game for Xbox 360. I had it too, and I played it, and it ran great. It was beautiful at the time. The graphics, it was 60 frames and everything. I mean, it's a shame that the game doesn't play very well, but it was a nice game for the time period. Long Road Ahead.
Slightly kinder is the Long Road Ahead achievement in Guitar Hero 2. That name masks the fact that the achievement is for failing a song on easy, and the 10 Gs you get for it presumably cushion the blow. Still, embarrassing.
Damn.
Oh, I'm usually much better than this, honest.
Maybe Duke Nukem is a sophisticated satire, or maybe it's as dumb as it appears. Either way, if you get the Shake It Baby achievement, everyone will know you gave money to a virtual stripper to see her jig around with a top off for 1 second and a half. How many G is that worth to you? More than 10? You don't even get to see her nips.
Shake it, baby.
Wow. Snake beater.
Okay, so friends who look at your gamer card and see the description for this achievement will see "Get caught by Otacon stimulating yourself." That's pretty bad.
What?
As bad as Snake's expression during the act? You be the judge of that.
What do you think you're doing, Snake? You don't have enough to keep you busy?
We're taking our 10 Gs and getting out of here.
Wow.
Try to remember the mission if you can.
Snake beater.
Finally,
Wow.
there are some games that are, how you say, bad, but easy to get all 1000 G in. Now, we're not these achievement horse people we keep hearing about. It's a weird saying. I don't even think a horse can play games with hooves.
Oh, we're not to be done. Is this the end or?
Anyway, you wouldn't catch us playing these easy games just to artificially inflate our gamer score. Games like... Just don't actually check our gamer cards because we're telling the truth and that would mean you didn't trust us. And what's the...
I actually played the TMNT game. It was cheap. I think it was like $10. And it's actually not a bad game. It's just very easy. But if you liked TMNT at the time, so you're talking like late 2000s, that was the 3D movie had come out, the CGI movie. The game wasn't actually that bad. It was a good movie tie-in, but yeah, it's easy as piss to get all those points. All right, we'll do one more video for this part before we split it. Let's see what's next.
I'm very excited about this video and about this device that I'm about to show you.
This guy again
is the Roland Bridgecast 1. It's an XLR interface with mixing controls.
So it's an XLR interface like I have here. I have the Scarlett Focusrite. It's like the Focusrite Scarlett I something. So it's supposed to be something like that.
Built-in voice effects, flexible I/O, and it's $179. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this.
I mean, mine I've had for 10 years and it still works fine. I don't even need anything new, I don't think, because this has been working not endlessly for a decade. Mine has 2 microphone inputs, so if I ever wanted to have a second mic in my setup here, I could actually have another person and we both be talking and it would sound great. So his is a little bit less. Yeah, it's 2i2. It's the Scarlett 2i2. I think that's the unit I'm using.
In my opinion, the Roland Bridgecast 1 completes the trifecta of audio devices that have released in the last month. We have versatility with the Elgato because it's essentially a Stream Deck. We have power with the Beacon, and with the Roland Bridgecast 1, we have value. And for creators to have this level of choice for the first time, super exciting. I'm gonna do a full comparison video soon, like next month, and talk about why I gave them each these scores. So if you wanna see that, make sure.
He's saying the Stream Deck's versatile because it's a Stream Deck plus it's one of these XLR devices. He says the middle one has a high power, but then the one on the right has value. I wonder why he thinks the one on the right has more value.
Make sure you subscribe. While you're down there, hit the like button. This video is sponsored by Roland, so I won't be doing.
The video is sponsored by Roland. Well, what the hell? So how can I believe what you're saying? If the video is sponsored by the thing you're about to kiss its butt, then how can I believe what you're actually saying about the device? Right? I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I can, right? If it's a video spot, the whole video is a paid sponsorship then, right? So can you believe it? I don't think so. I really don't think he's saying so. That's what he's saying. He said, I'm not going to do a comparison video because this video is sponsored by Roland. So he only is going to talk about the Roland device. Like, yeah, but then we can't trust what you're saying at all. He's exactly. I actually don't think I want to watch the video. I understand whoever submitted this, you probably wanted me to learn about this device. I use the Scarlett. It's the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, I believe. And it has two inputs for this style of studio mic, which I don't know exactly what that jack is called. But yeah, I have two of those. And it has an overall monitor dial that I don't even touch. I don't even know what that thing does. The monitor dial. It's got a few things on there. I just never touch it. It's got like things that you could flip, something about monitor. I never touch any of the buttons on it at all. Like never, because I just plugged it in and then boom, it just worked. I wonder what's on the back of it. I see. It actually has audio out on the back if I want to have the audio like go out to another source as well besides the PC. Yeah. Well, let's go a little further, but it sounds like he's just going to kiss the thing's butt.
Doing a deep comparison video when one of them is the sponsor. That'll be for the next video. But let's get back to Roland. This is actually Roland's third device. They released the original Bridgecast back in 2023, and then about a year later, they released the Bridgecast X, and now they've released the one. And with each of these releases, I've actually met with the team, either on Zoom or meeting experience. So, back to the one. They sent me this device a couple months ago, and third time's a charm. This device carves out a space in gaming gear that just currently doesn't exist. It just does pretty much everything you need an XLR interface to do for nearly half the price of the
headset. So there's your mic input. Headset, aux, line out, USB, console PC. It works with consoles as well. So I would be able to make this studio style mic work as a microphone input on my console if I want to. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting because I don't think we've seen that yet, have we? That you can use any microphone you want on your console? I don't think so. I don't understand what game effects mean. Aux USB? What the hell does that even mean? I don't understand that.
The other ones. I'll show you. Let's go over that list of 4 things I mentioned in the beginning. First, the XLR interface. Right now, I have a regular SM7B plugged directly into this thing. And the SM7B, if you're not aware, is kind of the litmus test for XLR interfaces because the SM7B requires a powerful preamp to run properly. If this mic sounds okay, any mic will sound okay. And you can hear it sounds fine right now. The preamp built into this has up to 75 dB of gain, which is more than you'll ever need. I think I'm only using about 50 for this microphone. It's got a whole suite of plugins to polish up your voice, like EQ, compression, a noise gate. It's all there.
Yeah, but we ever use that because you're going to be using this through something else like OBS. So you're just going to use OBS's plugins. You're probably not going to be using their proprietary stuff.
And something that stands out is all those effects are processed on the device, which does two things for you. First, it means your PC doesn't have to process all the effects, so it can focus on frames in your game. And two, it means that if you're plugging your headphones into this and listening to your voice back in your headset, you can hear those effects in real time. Let's jump into thing number 2. The mixing. The Roland team and I have spent hours on calls at this point talking about the mixing functionality and how to make that user experience perfect. And they've already made a couple changes based on feedback that I gave them. You have all your software channels that you normally have, and then you can assign 3 to the device itself. By default, they're the mic, the chat, and the game. You click the dial in the middle to toggle between the 3 channels, or you have something called balance mode. And balance mode is really cool. It combines the second and third channel onto that middle dial for faster adjustments. And this is really cool because the chat and game channels are typically the 2 that you need to adjust quickly in the middle of a game, and now you can do it without toggling.
So he's saying you can adjust your volume, like your talking volume, but then you can adjust the game chat volume, so the level of the people talking in game chat, and then also the actual game volume on the fly just by touching the knob. You don't have to go through menus to do it. You don't have to fuck around. This thing will adjust it on the fly through the device. That's all well and good, but will it also adjust it for your feed? So, for example, what if you're streaming? I get that maybe it'll adjust everything for you, but is it also going to adjust everything for the audience, right? Or is it only adjusting it through the device? Is the device processing the audio and adjusting the audio only for what you're hearing through your headphones? That doesn't seem to be clear. Lady Charisma says, most software can be passed through OBS now. These effects can be used in it, or at least my audio interface allows that since the interface becomes its own input. Gotcha.
Without even looking at the device. If you turn the dial towards the chat side, the game volume lowers. And if you turn it towards the game side, it lowers the chat. I think most gamers are going to use this in balance mode because it's so much faster to adjust, and so I gave them a slightly different idea. And Roland and I would actually love to hear your feedback on these 2 different approaches and which one you like better. I suggested that because what you're really doing is turning down the chat or turning down the game, that you treat each side like a separate fader. So if you want to turn down the chat, you pull down the chat side. And if you want to turn down the game, you pull down the game side. And then you hold the middle button to snap both faders back to their default level. And then use the sides on the side to essentially show the fader level. That just felt a little bit more intuitive to me. And if you agree, leave a 2 in the comments. And if you agree with Roland's original way of doing it, put a 1 in the comments and any reasoning you might have. And then in the next call I have with Roland, we will most likely discuss your comments. I also just found out these guys are going to be at TwitchCon this weekend. So if a budget device is what you're looking for and you want the chance to give them some feedback in person, I'm going to be doing it. I suggest you do it.
How much is it? I think he said it was like $170 or something at the beginning of the video. I believe when I bought my Scarlett a decade ago, it was over $200, but that was a decade ago. I have no idea what this device would cost now, and I'm sure there's like a new version. So.
And then lastly, these buttons are programmable mute buttons. The Bridgecast one also has a voice changer built in, and just like the effects we talked about earlier, it is processed on the device.
So you can do a voice changer. I could make myself sound silly by messing with the device over here, and you guys would hear it on stream. Okay, that's kind of neat, I think. You want to do a silly thing? You do a little song, you sing a song with a weird voice? Okay, I get that.
And the way you control these is really clever. You have a button that toggles the effect on and off, and you can save up to 5 different voice effects that you can switch between by holding the button and turning the dial. You can also put effects on your game audio, and it works the same way. And you can use this to do things like quickly boosting footstep volume near the end game. And the last thing we're talking about here is a nice touch, because it's something that's missing from a lot of current gaming mixers, and that is the I/O. It brings back that simple line in, they call aux on here, and line out like you had on the Go XLR to do a simple 2 PC streaming setup. Or if you're on a 1 PC setup, connect your speakers to the line out. The USB can plug into a PC, or you just flip that switch to console mode and you can plug it into a PlayStation 5 or a Nintendo Switch. It's interesting.
Doesn't work on Xbox. It's only PS5 or Nintendo Switch. But as PC, I wonder if it would work on an Xbox.
That neither this nor the Beacon Studio can connect to an Xbox, so I'm going to assume that's an Xbox issue. And the last thing on there is for the people that would use this for a 2 PC setup and have this connected over USB to the streaming PC. That would mean your gaming PC is going into the aux port, and so that last switch changes those game effects we talked about to apply to the aux input and not the USB input. I think that was a nice little touch. That's a lot of stuff for one.
Well, that's confusing. I have to figure that out. Like, So I would want this to be plugged into my streaming PC for sure, because I want you to hear my microphone. But what I'm in the gaming, oh, I understand. What he's saying is you could take an aux in of your gaming audio, and that's how you can have game effects. See, I wouldn't even care about that then. I would only use this. I would use this as my new XLR device to take in my microphone. I would use the effects to change voice changing and stuff. But I don't think I would ever use it for the in-game adjustments, because that's basically, this would work perfect if your streaming PC is the same as your gaming PC, right? If everything's all in one, that's your all-in-one device that you want to use. It has everything. But if you're doing a 2 PC setup, I don't know, like what he's saying is you'd have to have an aux in. How would you even do that? You'd have to have an audio out from the PC into this, and then have this be your audio input on your capture PC, rather than taking the audio out of the game feed. But you still need to take the video feed out of your gaming PC. So now you would actually be taking an audio and video feed as 2 separate sources in OBS and trying to combine them as one. Like, that's way convoluted. That's way convoluted. For me, the one use I can see for this is that it's a more modernized version of what I have. I bet it would sound slightly better than what I have now, like maybe a little bit better. And I would probably use some of the voice changing effects just to be silly. I mean, like, ooh, super deep voice, or, you know, high voice for certain situations. It'd be funny. But outside of that, I probably wouldn't care about the game effects, the game chat, and game audio adjuster. So I would never use this for my game audio. This would only be for my microphone input. So I get it. All right, cool. That's a cool device. If I need a new XLR device, right, maybe I would look into that. But I mean, this thing's been working for 10 freaking years, this Focusrite. I never had an issue with it. So I don't know, you know, how soon or whatever I would need. Like, my microphone's great, right? You guys always tell me my audio quality is great on stream. So I don't think that I would need to be working on a microphone upgrade or anything like this anytime soon. But at least now, you know, a cool device like that. I like the voice changing stuff. That's cool. I probably mess with that a little bit. Okay, guys, that's it for part 1 of DSP versus the Internet for the week, episode 83. I hope you've enjoyed. When we come back, we'll continue with the Ultra member submissions and move on. So thank you guys, and see you in the next part.